Hey gang, I'm going to be putting a link to a video in the description box below. There's a training video out that was released by an agency in the state of Florida. And I wanted to use the police department as my background. The only reason I'm using the Yucaipa Police Department is that's the closest one. And so I'm using it as a background because it's a law enforcement training video that deals with sovereign citizens. And it talks about the 3 types of sovereign citizens and what police should look for in identifying sovereign citizens. Now I'm doing this handheld, so I apologize for the shaking. A little bit of shaking here. Maybe too much coffee. But I'm just going to give you a few points about the video and then go watch it in the description box below. And after having watched this here, you'll know what points to look for in that video. The first and most important thing I want you to look for is they use a video as an example. And it's a video of a big bald cop that's screaming at a guy through his car door or his car window. That was not a sovereign citizen. It was not. It was a cop watcher that the police officer got upset for being watched, and he pulled the guy over and basically just wanted to ID him. He said, why should I give you my ID? And then he screamed in his face, you chicken mother effer, you know. But they used that video as an example of sovereign citizens in the training video. That wasn't a sovereign citizen. That's misleading. It's a cop watcher. You'll hear them say certain things in that video, description box below, where they say sovereign citizens may say you have no authority over us. And I've heard First Amendment auditors say that to police, and they were right in that that doesn't make you a sovereign citizen if you say to a police officer, you have no authority over me. It just means they have no authority over you. When does a police officer not have authority over you? When you're not breaking the law. When you're doing a constitutionally protected legal activity, there's no law to enforce, and then therefore they don't have authority over you. Cops just can't come up and tell you what to do just because they have a badge. They have to be enforcing a law that you're breaking or that you're intending to break or that you have broken. And you say, what do you mean intending to break? Well, let's say you're standing in front of a jewelry store with a crowbar in your hand. You go, well, I was just kind of looking at a wedding ring for my wife. What's the crowbar for? You know, something like that. That's suspicious activity, sure. But when you're standing on a sidewalk filming the jewelry store, say, I'm just kind of filming what's in my community here. That's not illegal. It's not suspicious. Well, criminally suspicious, let's put it that way. I digress. So when we say you have no authority over me, we're simply saying that we're doing a constitutionally protected legal activity and there's no law to be enforced here, so you can move along. What are you investigating? Nothing. Legal activity. Do they investigate every person that walks up and down the sidewalk? No. But since you have a camera, all of a sudden you're a criminal or a sovereign citizen? No, that's not correct. So yes, sometimes we will say to the police, you have no authority. It just means there's no law being broken. So what's left to say? They say in that video in the description box below that sovereign citizens will say, what is the reason you're stopping me for? That makes you a sovereign citizen to ask that question. So when a police officer pulls you over and you go, what are you stopping me for? All of a sudden you're a sovereign citizen? And what is a sovereign citizen? We haven't get to that yet. Sovereign citizens are those that say the Constitution and the laws do not, how do I word that? Do not relate to us because we don't recognize the U.S. government as an actual government. You know, we recognize the government as something other than an actual government, and the laws of the land and the Constitution do not apply to us. That's the word I was looking for. Because we are not part of this government. We are free of our own selves. We are our own free citizens. That's a sovereign citizen. First Amendment auditors and cop watchers are not sovereign citizens. We are constitutionalists. We don't interpret the Constitution in any different way. We interpret the Constitution in the way that it was written. You read it, it's plain English, and that's how we interpret it, the way that we read it. But sometimes they'll say that First Amendment auditors or cop watchers are sovereign citizens, and that's incorrect, because sovereign citizens don't recognize the Constitution the way it was written. They don't recognize the laws of the land. First Amendment auditors and cop watchers try to obey all of the laws. We try to make sure that we are accountable to ourselves and accountable to other people via video, and that we try to be law-abiding citizens. How are we going to go out there and document the police bad behavior and government officials bad behavior, public officials bad behavior, if we're exhibiting bad behavior? That's not only hypocrisy, it doesn't make sense. So no, we are law-abiding citizens, try to abide by the laws of the land. We try to obey the Constitution of the United States, because we're holding everybody accountable, including ourselves. So back to that question, what is the reason you are stopping me for? That's a normal question. Why are you stopping me? What did I do? But they're saying in that training video below that that could make you a sovereign citizen. That's the question that sovereign citizens ask. Well, that's a question that anybody would ask. They went on to say there are 3 types of sovereign citizens. Look through those. But one of the things they say in there is that sovereign citizens use video recording to discredit police officers and use it as propaganda. First Amendment auditors and cop watchers are not video recording to discredit the police or their agencies. They are using it to show good behavior and bad behavior. When police officers shine their flashlight in the face of people just because that person is video recording them, does that make that cameraman a sovereign citizen? Does that then mean that cameraman is there to discredit them? The cameraman didn't ask that police officer to shine a bright flashlight in their eyes just for video recording them. The cameraman didn't ask the police officer to come over and have a negative interaction with them. They're just recording them. If the police officer's doing nothing wrong and he's being professional and he's exhibiting good behavior, then he should be like, hey, how you doing, buddy? And walk off. Am I correct? But in this training video in the description box below, they're saying that it could be that these people that video record the police are sovereign citizens. So now all the police have got this hype, this paranoia that, oh, if he's video recording me, it could be a sovereign citizen, I better call for backup. When simply it's just a cop watcher on the sidewalk making sure that he is professional, that he does treat the community with respect, that he doesn't violate anybody's civil rights, and that he goes on his way with transparency. That's all it is. But now there's this hype from this video in the description box below that says it could be it's a sovereign citizen looking to discredit you with propaganda. Well, that's propaganda in and of itself, because it's not true. So I wanted to bring this to your light. Go watch that video in the description box below. The reason I'm not mirroring it is I suck at mirroring. I've tried to mirror videos and it always comes out like an audio podcast with a black screen. So I can't do it, man. But go watch it, guys. Let me know what you think about what I've said in the comment section below.